Hello and welcome to the Kelowna Art Gallery. My name is Victoria Verge and I am the Education Coordinator of Adult Programming here at the Gallery. Thank you for joining me today as we take a look at our current exhibition, Bombhead. This is a thematic exhibition organized by guest curator John O'Brien, circulated by the Vancouver Art Gallery, and is a part of the Across the Province touring program. Whether you're joining us from home or if you're here at the gallery touring the space, this virtual tour will act as your companion guide, accompanying you with facts and additional information as you explore the exhibition. Let's begin by discussing the overarching theme of this exhibition. Bombhead explores the emergence and impact of the nuclear age as represented by artists. Strongly associated with obliteration and destruction, nuclear technologies have made a profound cultural and ecological impact since their development in the mid-20th century. Taking its title from a photo montage of the same name by the American artist Bruce Conner, Bombhead encompasses the pre- and post-war period from the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 to the triple meltdown at Fukushima Daiichi in 2011. The exhibition explores 4 thematic categories: the bomb, documents, protest, and fear. The exhibition addresses some of the most pressing issues of the post-war era. What has been the role of art in producing an image of the bomb and nuclear energy? Have nuclear art and images heightened or lessened anxieties about atomic threat, or done both at the same time? How should different expressive approaches to nuclear risk be understood? Keep these questions in mind as we continue to tour and examine the paintings, drawings, prints, photographs, and videos on display. The first 2 sections we will explore are the bomb and documents. To understand the atom bomb, we must first understand what nuclear energy is. Nuclear energy is the energy in the nucleus or core of an atom. Atoms are tiny units that make up all matter in the universe, and energy is what holds the nucleus together. There's a huge amount of energy in an atom's dense nucleus. This is the energy that scientists discovered and harnessed to be used in the atom bomb. There are also a number of beneficial uses for nuclear technology. In addition to creating energy ranging from agriculture to medical, from space exploration to water desalination. This may come as a surprise to some of you, but Canada has actually played a major role in the creation of nuclear energy and activities. During the Second World War, Canada was a member of the Manhattan Project, the bomb building consortium led by the United States. The pitchblende mine at Port Radium in the Northwest Territories supplied the uranium that fueled the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Uranium ore from the mine was refined in Port Hope, Ontario, the oldest operating nuclear facility in the world. Greenpeace, the environmental activist group, was founded in Vancouver to protest nuclear testing. And the Triumph Research Centre, located at the University of British Columbia, became Canada's national laboratory for particle and nuclear physics. Following the Second World War, many artists became convinced that the nuclear atomic age could not be expressed using old methods of artistic expression. To evoke the nuclear era, a new visual language was required, and this meant finding a way to make energy and motion visible. Art tells us about nuclear threat by giving it shape through representation. You'll notice as we continue our tour that many of the artists represented here chose to display this subject matter through photography. The evolution of photography developed throughout the same time period as the discovery of nuclear energy. And many artists found this to be the best medium to represent something as new and obscure as the atomic bomb. Even Jackson Pollock once told an interviewer in 1950 that the modern painter cannot express this age, the airplane, the atom bomb, the radio, in the old forms of the Renaissance or any other past culture. Speaking of photography, when we take a closer look at the bomb section of the exhibition, you can't help but take note of the large photographs to the left of the front entrance. These photos by Roy Kiuka from the series Stoned Gloves depicts abandoned work gloves that have fallen onto the ground. These photos were shot at Expo 70 in Osaka, Japan, while the fairgrounds were still under construction. These gloves were discarded by workers on the site and eventually turned to stone as the concrete and rainwater mixed together. These scattered gloves, represented by Kyuka, the absence of their owners, a reminder of the aftermath of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. If we take a look at the long photographs showing the same photos at different levels of exposure, we can imagine the most overexposed image as the blinding white flash that comes prior to the explosion, and the darkest image as the layer of black ash that covers the earth in its aftermath. As we move around the room, you will notice a variety of ephemera and documents pertaining to the bomb. Most of these are from the personal collection of the curator, and they provide historical context, complementing the art surrounding it. These documents discuss a vast array of subject matter, from government propaganda, scientific articles and books, to jovial advertisements, movie posters, and record covers, using the bomb as their inspiration. The post-war era that leads into the Cold War was the golden age of advertisement, which left behind a limitless supply of ephemera, many of which include iconography of the bomb. It is to be expected that the impact that this new atomic technology was present in every aspect of human life after its discovery. Of course, we can't leave this section of the exhibition without stopping to look at Bruce Conner's photo collage, Bombhead, from which the exhibition takes its title. This black and white photo collage may look very simple at first glance, but the deliberate combination of imagery certainly makes a statement. It was originally conceived as a newspaper and photocopy collage by Bruce Conner in 1989. This edition of Bombhead was scanned using the original negatives of a portrait of Bruce Conner by Edmund Shea and an atomic bomb photo from the National Archives, Library of Congress. It was digitally edited by Bruce Conner and Donald Farnsworth at Magnolia Editions in Oakland, California. The printing was done on an Epson 9600 piezo printer using gray and black pigmented ink. Bruce Conner also hand-painted the drop of blood on the atomic symbol on the tie with acrylic paint. Moving on to the next two sections of the gallery, to the right of the main entrance, we will find fear and protest sections of Bombhead. Now that we know a little bit more about the creation of nuclear power, the atomic bomb, and how these weapons of mass destruction were used, we can better understand the artistic response to these events. Over here, we have several artistic representations of the fear that comes from atomic warfare and documentation of the protests that resulted from this fear. If we take a closer look at the work of Nancy Sparrow, we can interpret the pain and fear that she's representing in the quick, childlike marks she makes on the page. The power of these works comes from the speed and fury with which they were made. It is pure emotion on a page with little consideration given to the finer details or traditional techniques. Nancy Sparrow was an American visual artist and activist whose career spanned over 50 years, but she is best known for her contemporary political, social, and cultural concerns. Sparrow chronicled wars and apocalyptic violence, as well as articulating visions of ecstatic rebirth and the celebratory cycles of life. With fear comes protest, and to truly understand the protest that stemmed from the fear of a potential atomic war, these photographs taken by Robert Kazier can tell us a lot. This series of photos document the history of Greenpeace, an 80-foot halibut fishing boat that left Vancouver on September 15, 1971, to protest United States nuclear testing on Amchitka, a small island in the Aleutian chain off the coast of Alaska. 12 men were on board, including a captain, an engineer, and 10 protesters. Robert Kazier, then a graduate student in chemistry at the University of British Columbia, was the official photographer. His photographs of the voyage, which concentrate on personal interactions among the crew members, have been extensively published. The protests failed to stop Tess Kennekin, one of the largest underground explosions ever conducted, but it drew media attention to the dangers of nuclear testing. It also drew attention to Greenpeace as an environmental organization. 2,056 nuclear tests later, and a total of 13,890 nuclear warheads created, the doomsday clock ticks closer and closer to midnight. This exhibition serves as a reminder of the technology and power that is still held in facilities around the world. This threat is not one that has disappeared with time, but has only intensified. Represented here by the work of 28 artists in a collection of ephemera, we not only look back on the lives of those living during the emergence of nuclear threat, but we can think of our own reality here and now. Thank you for joining me today for this walkthrough of our current exhibition, Bombhead, which is organized and circulated by the Vancouver Art Gallery and presented here at the Kelowna Art Gallery with the support from IG Wealth Management. If you are interested in learning more, please check out our website and our social media platforms for additional educational content. Thank you so much. Goodbye.